Hey guys, and welcome back to Music Theory for the Dropouts. I'm Cassie Falk, and we've been going through many ways of how to apply our music theory to note reading, reading rhythms, and today we're going to get into music symbols. So music symbols are everything to do with music except for the actual notes that tell us the pitch and the rhythm. Let's start off with talking about dynamics, or the volume of our music. Dynamic marks are represented by a little letter that tells us how loud or quiet we need to play. The fancy F stands for the Latin word forte, meaning strong. On the other end of the spectrum, we have a fancy letter P that stands for piano or soft. We can add an M in front of each of these, and we have Mezzo-Forte, or medium loud, and Mezzo-Piano, or medium quiet. The louder we want to go, the more Fs we add. The quieter we want to go, the more P's we add. Our crescendo lines start off closed at one point and open up, indicating an increase in sound from quiet to loud. The diminuendo or decrescendo starts off open at one point to its closing at the end, representing a louder to a quieter sound. Now onto articulation. Articulation represents how a note is played. The most two common ones is legato, in which we connect our notes together, and that's represented by a curved line underneath or over top of our notes. The opposite of that is staccato, represented by a little dot added above or below the note head. So legato is smooth and staccato is very jumpy. A couple other articulations include an accent represented by a sideways V, which means to play the note a little bit louder than the previous, and a tenuto written by a little line above or below a note, which means for sure to hold the note for its full value. Up until this point, we haven't talked about the black keys, so let's get into that now. We're going to talk about the two most important music symbols, a sharp and a flat. A flat alters a white key down a half step, and a sharp alters a white key up a half step. So let's take this black key here. We can call it two different names. We can go from C and call it a C sharp, or we can start from D and call it a D flat. So if we have a sharp at the beginning of the measure with an F, that sharp will apply to all the other Fs in the measure until it gets cancelled out by a bar line. We have to add another sharp in each measure if we want to keep it in there. Now, if we want to cancel the sharp out before the bar line hits, then we have to add something called a natural, which cancels out and just goes back to a regular white key. These are just a few of the many music symbols that are out there, but these are the most common. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you at the next video.